I don't like people to think of me as an assistant. I'm more of a collaborative partner. This is what I do every day, and you do what you do every day. So when we come together and you've got all of your great ideas and everything that you really have expertise in, and I do the same thing, and we meet in the middle, all of a sudden it's like, boom, this is amazing. You can really make some really great things happen.
Welcome to Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches, the podcast for health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs just like you who are building a business, making the world a healthier place, and designing a first-class life. I'm your host, Kim Foster, MD and certified business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you up-level your strategy and raise your mindset so you can truly thrive and grow your business. Let's get started. Welcome to today's episode. Now, today we are going to be talking about outsourcing, which is such an important topic for the growing entrepreneur. If you are feeling overwhelmed in your business right now, if you've been doing everything all by yourself and you can feel yourself starting to head towards burnout, then this episode is definitely for you. My guest today is Jennie Lyon, and Jennie is the founder of a digital marketing and virtual assistance company, and I think you're going to love hearing all the things she's got to share with us today. So without further ado, let's jump in. All right, today I am so excited to have Jennie Lyon here with me. Jennie is a 20-year digital marketing expert. She's an award-winning writer, and she's the founder of Jennie Lyon Digital Marketing and Virtual Assistant Services. And in fact, Jennie is a trusted member of my team too. She is my VA. And in fact, she is the very first person that I hired to help me when I was first growing my business. And she has done so much for me because she really knows what she's doing. And so I am absolutely thrilled to bring her to you today so you can benefit from all of her wisdom. So welcome to the podcast, Jennie. It is so great to have you here.
Thank you, Kim. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. And today we're going to be talking about how to use virtual digital marketing team, like how to use a team to grow your business and get your life back, which I know sounds pretty amazing to my listeners out there. However, before we get there, I'd just like to give my listeners a bit more context about you first. I would love to hear a bit more about your story. I know that you've been in business for 20 years. So why did you decide to start a digital marketing and virtual assistant agency?
Oh my goodness, right. Yeah. Well, my whole journey to becoming a digital marketer really started back in 2001. So my son Eben was born in 2001, and I knew pretty immediately after bringing him home from the hospital that going back to work just wasn't going to happen. So Eben has Asperger's, and between doctor's appointments and therapy sessions and meeting after meeting at school, working a traditional 9 to 5 just wasn't going to work for our family. So I really needed to find a career that, would allow me to work when I could work. So maybe that meant early in the morning or late at night or while he was asleep or at school. And while the concept of a virtual team was really pretty brand new back then, and hiring a virtual digital marketing expert wasn't necessarily something that most businesses even really thought about when they were looking for extra help. The concept of digital marketing, it was really still in its infancy, really. It was, primarily limited to email newsletters or those website ads that popped up. And my gosh, Facebook wasn't even founded for like another 3 years. So yeah, when I started 20 years ago, I sat down one morning and was like, I need to figure this out. And I found my first client on Craigslist.
Oh, no way. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny. I searched and searched. I kept searching for keywords like virtual, what can I do at home? And I found someone who needed help with online marketing. And I was like, hey, I know this. I can help with that. And so now it's grown into, this nice agency where I work with, tons of business owners and entrepreneurs who are really looking to launch or scale their online business using those different digital marketing strategies. So my clients are looking for a collaborative partner like you, Kim, and really looking for someone to help make it happen. So I always tell my clients, we really help build an online business that will make your competitors jealous.
I love that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that makes so much sense. I mean, that is just such an, authentic journey. Like you really realized that the way that you had been functioning in the world before was just not everything had changed.
Right.
Everything
Yeah,
changes, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
In a moment. And so, yeah, but I love that you found your way. You found such an awesome solution and providing such a needed service that has really only grown, of course.
Right. Yeah. And something that I absolutely love doing every day. So that's like the cherry on top of all of it.
Oh my gosh, that is just a win-win. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us like a little bit more about what you do now. Like who do you help and how do you help them?
Sure, absolutely. So, we're a full service digital marketing and virtual assistant agency. So, our process is really unique in that we offer customized strategies and services to help build, promote, and scale your brand depending on where you're at. So, we try to meet our clients wherever they are in their process and in their journey to really help them build out a strategy that's going to allow them to attract their ideal client with their offerings, that are going to sell. So, I've been running this, for 20 years now and really am so passionate about helping my clients to really use these online marketing strategies to sell their products and services. So nothing's more fun than helping them launch a new website, a product or service or a program, and then getting to see all of those amazing results that start to roll into their business.
Okay, that sounds amazing. That's perfect. So, from there, let's talk about marketing. Now, if a small business owner, is a solopreneur just starting out with their online marketing, where should they start? Most of my listeners are right at the beginning of figuring out how to market their business, and I'd love to get your insight on a great place to start.
Absolutely. Yeah, always, for sure. If a small business owner or entrepreneur is just starting out with their online marketing, I definitely recommend having a marketing plan. So, a marketing plan will give you a roadmap. And without one, your efforts really lack focus. So, you wouldn't plan on going on a road trip without mapping out where you're going to go. And the same happens with your marketing plan. You really want to dial in who your ideal client avatar is and what messaging they need to hear to decide if you are the right fit for them. So, really figuring out who that ideal client is and your messaging, that's really key. If you're trying to speak to everyone and appeal to everyone with your marketing, then you essentially end up marketing to no one. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's really important to really dial in, who is your ideal client and what message do they need to hear. So that's key, I think. And then kind of branching off from there is I always recommend starting with building an email list. Email marketing, it has the highest ROI of all the digital marketing efforts. And once you build that list, you kind of have this list of raving fans who are always excited to buy from you. So to get started, I always recommend having a really great lead magnet or an opt-in, something that you can really put out there front and center in your marketing and on your website. And it really needs to be a good representation of your brand and have a wide reach within your target audience. So you really want it to complement and align with your product or service or your program and really dial in to tackle that one challenge that your avatar faces. The idea there is to really give them a quick win as they enter into your funnel and then to nurture the heck out of them. You really want to continue to build that relationship with them. And, it gives them the time that they need to get to know you better and like you and trust you. And then it kind of nurtures them through till they convert. And then, once you've started to build that list, then there's other types of marketing that I always suggest adding in, content marketing, social media marketing, SEO. It's kind of like deciding, where is your target audience really hanging out? Let's focus there. But then there's things that we need to do to make sure that you also have, short-term and long-term goals as with your marketing that really happens over and over again.
That is so good. There are so many juicy pieces in there for sure. Especially, I mean, I'm completely, of course, on board with everything that you're saying about, for in the beginning, really, it's keep it simple and just make sure that you are super clear who you're marketing to, who your ideal client, and then everything, really springs from that. So I
Absolutely.
love that. Great advice. What marketing would you say, people should absolutely be doing on a regular basis once you've got your foundation set up? Like what makes sense still with the early business owner, what are some really essential things that you recommend?
Right. Yeah, definitely. There are particular things that, I think that everyone should do for their online marketing. So, first up is to have some sort of content that you're putting out on a regular basis.
Mm.
So, whether that's a blog post or a podcast or a YouTube video, some sort of content. And I always recommend that my clients do that content once a week. And then you can use that content to create lots of other pieces of content that you can use as well. So, you could take that blog post or podcast and you could kind of chunk it up and use it as an email newsletter to go out to your list. You could pull it apart and use pieces of it to create social media posts. You could pull little snippets out to share everywhere. I mean, you can really get a lot of bang from just one piece of content every single week. The big key there that is consistency, though. That's one thing I see over and over again. I have a lot of clients that, they go at it, they're really excited at first and they get on, they get on that automated schedule of sending something out every week and they've got a new piece of content, they've got a newsletter going out, their social media is going, and things really it comes together. They're like, oh my gosh, people have been reaching out to me and I've been getting consults and people have been purchasing things and it starts to go well. And then they let the marketing fall off.
Right.
They get busy, they get really busy helping people or, thinking about what's the next product that I want to create. And then their marketing kind of falls off to the side and it never fails. Then all of a sudden they pop back up, into my world and say, oh my gosh,
Help.
something happened. I don't understand. People aren't buying anymore. Or, my phone stopped ringing and I will ask them, well, tell me about what's happening. What's your marketing looking like? And they're, oh, I stopped doing that. I'm
Right.
like, you did? Like, what part of it? Oh, well, kind of all of it. Oh, okay. I think I see the problem here. It really is consistency. You start to see, as I've been doing, following this marketing plan myself for years and years and years. And it's gotten to the point now that I send out my newsletters on Tuesday morning. And if for some reason it doesn't go out on time, people email me and ask me if I sent it.
Ah, that's great. That is a
Yeah.
great place to
Yeah.
be.
So I'm like, okay, there's something to that. And, it gives you a lot of content that's going out. So you have a lot of analytics and insights to see what your audience is really interested in. So it helps you to really, tweak your strategy going forward because you can try a lot of different things and see, what really hits. And if something misses, that's okay. You don't do that anymore. Let's try something else.
Yeah. Oh, that is great. Yes, I'm definitely hearing you on the importance of consistency. It's so key. I mean, it seems like it's just such a simple thing, but it is, it's so cornerstone. And then I love your ideas and thoughts on repurposing. I'm all about repurposing because,
Yes.
Why make things harder for yourself than
Absolutely.
necessary?
Right. Yeah. Because you can take a little bit of time to write a really great blog or record a podcast. You put a lot into it and to use it just one time and then that's it. No,
Yeah. Yeah. You're
you
making
can
it too
really,
hard.
you can really you reuse it over and over and over again. I mean, there's so many little nuggets that you can pull out in one way or another. You could take a bunch of the best pieces and make us, a bunch of Instagram stories. You could
Yeah.
pull out a bunch of little snippets and get those out there. People consume content differently. So I try to do video and do audio and do some visuals as well because, not everyone's going to read a blog post or listen to a podcast or watch a video. You really have to find them wherever they are.
Yeah, exactly. That's super smart, because people are going to be consuming your content in different ways. And so you might as well make it available if you can, like take that same core piece of content and then repurpose it and sort of rejig it for different media, like audio, video, all of that kind of thing. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. So tell me, because of course I know that there are some listeners out there who are thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but it sounds like a lot. It's
Right.
a lot
Yes.
to do.
Hmm.
So tell me which of these, tasks and projects should somebody consider handing over to a virtual team?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, this is one of the first things I touch on with my clients, usually in their kickoff call, is really going through the list of things that needs to be done, and then how are we going to get it done? So
Yeah.
projects kind of tend to fall into different buckets. So one is I don't have time to do this, but I know it needs to be done. Two is I don't know how to do this, but again, it needs to be done.
Mhm.
Or three, I don't want to do this at all.
Yes.
And it doesn't really matter which bucket you fall into. You have all of these things on your list that are going to fit into one, if not all of those categories. So I really like to focus on the items that are going to have the biggest ROI right out of the gate. So, for example, if you start with email marketing, then I recommend handing that off to your virtual team. If you haven't had the time to sit down and create a lead magnet and get a funnel set up, then hand that off. I mean, that will bring you in a return over and over again. If you're not sending out a newsletter or you're not creating a piece of content every week, hand it off. I mean, a lot I hear from clients all the time, but I want to be the one to create the content, or, I don't know. I don't want someone else writing for me. But the way I work with my clients, it's so close with them that really it's like they're writing it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even exist, like they will say, I did one just this week for a new client where she hired me to do some newsletters that she had never done before. And she was really hesitant about it because she did not want her audience to feel like it was from someone else. And we sent the first one out. She was so nervous. And she
Mm.
called me immediately and she was like, I've had 4 people call me and they said it was amazing. And no one asked if someone else did it for me.
Right. Exactly. I
I
know
was
the
like,
things that
see?
we worry about
Right.
are just not the things that end up happening.
Right.
That's such a good example.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's just really looking at the marketing that needs to be done. There's just certain types of marketing that has to be done. You need to be content marketing. You need to do email marketing. You need to do social media marketing. And if you're not doing them, then it is time to look and think, maybe I should bring someone else in to help me get the stuff off of my list so that my content and my products and services, my program is getting out to the people that really need it.
Yeah, that is so great. Yeah. Okay. So, what are some other examples of projects that people could hand off to a team like yours?
Oh my gosh, really, it's endless. It
I
really
know.
is. I mean, every week is so different. Yeah. I mean, it could be anything, everything from foundational type things. We do a lot of new websites, or we have a lot of clients that reach out to us because their website isn't converting. So we do a lot of website audits and redesigns because you really do want that really solid foundation of a really great website. You're going to drive all of your traffic back to it. You want, as soon as someone lands on it, you want them to very quickly look and understand who you are, what you do, and how it can help them. You want them to take that call to action immediately. So, really, those foundational pieces of all of that, and then moving into the different types of marketing, and then all kinds of other things, membership sites, online courses, webinars. There's so many different pieces within it. So, we really can help anywhere, just kind of depends on where you're at and what help you need.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because you've got this team, so you can help people with those very foundational marketing pieces, like we just talked about the email marketing, like really just getting things set up to grow your list, and then nurturing that list, maintaining, your audience, and then get into the fancier
Right.
marketing things down the road. Like, I mean, you've helped me with my webinars and all of those kinds of
Yes.
things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the sky's kind of the limit as you start to grow and you start to see what's working, what's bringing people in, then you're all of a sudden thinking, oh my gosh, this, online course is doing really well. I should add another one, and
Right.
that's what happens with my clients all the time. This week, I have a client who has an online course and it's been doing really well. So I said to her, what if we took this online course and broke it up into 9 separate online courses, because it's the way that it's kind of built someone might want to buy the whole thing, but then there's little pieces of it that would work really well for other types of people where they might not need the whole thing, just a little piece of it. And
Mm.
she was like, wow. And immediately she was like, yeah. And so we did, and they've been selling. So it's just,
Oh,
there's so
that's
many things
awesome.
that you can do. It's just a lot of times, you're so close to it, you can't really see, what should I be doing? It helps to have someone come in who this is what they do every day. They can look at what you're doing and make recommendations and suggestions based on what I've seen work for hundreds of other people.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And that's like having a thinking partner, like somebody who
exactly.
can bring a sort of a different perspective and suggest other things. So
Right.
yes, I think
That's
that
it.
it's
Yeah.
so helpful, right? Because like exactly like you said, we're all way too close to our own businesses and we can't see little like hidden opportunities that might be there. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
that's
that's true.
amazing.
Yeah, because I tell my clients all the time, I don't like people to think of me as an assistant.
Mhm.
I'm more of a collaborative partner. This is what I do every day. And, you do what you do every day. So when we come together and you've got all of your great ideas and everything that you really have expertise in, and I do the same thing, and we meet in the middle, all of a sudden it's like, boom, this is amazing. You can really make some really great things happen.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Right. So now, although I certainly have heard many people express some resistance, right? Like in the very beginning, especially when it's just you, like a lot of people feel like they don't have the budget. They're not really making a lot of money just yet. Like they just don't have the budget. But tell me, like, what kind of budget does a small business owner need to start working with a team like yours?
Well, the nice thing about working with a team like ours is that we don't lock our clients into any type of long time contracts or anything like that because I know what it's like to be a small business owner.
Mm,
When you're first starting out, you really do need flexibility, especially when you're first starting out. And, when you hire a team like ours, to work on specific projects or tasks, then you're really only paying for the time that you actually need. And since you're getting a team that's full of experts already, you don't need to train anyone. We're just your digital marketing team that's down the virtual hall from you. When you need help with something, there we are. We can kind of just pop up and, help you as needed. Some clients I work with, I do all of their marketing, everything from the strategy to creating everything and implementing it. But others, I work really closely and they create parts of it. I implement parts of it or I create parts of it. We really
mm.
work close together, and really make it happen.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I'm also wondering, I'm sure you hear a lot of like myths and misconceptions about like what it means to outsource and to hire a marketing team and all of that kind of stuff. Can you tell us about some of the things that you hear?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think like you touched on before, one of the big things that I hear from, especially on like consult calls, is people say, well, I think I can do it all myself. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, that's why you're here right now, they really try to take the marketing on top of everything else or the building the next, course or running a webinar. They think I'll just add that on to my list. And a lot of times what happens is they really quickly get overwhelmed and frustrated and burn out and say, forget it, I'm just not going to do it.
Mhm.
And I do think a lot of them feel like, it's something that they can't afford to do or that they feel guilty for hiring someone else, like they should be able to do it themselves. So I think that's one of the misconceptions is that you really can't do everything yourself. I mean, you can try, and I know because I did that myself for many years where I thought I could do it all. I was like, hey, I'm doing this for my clients. I can do it for myself too. And all that happened is I worked 16-hour days and
Oh,
I lived and I breathed my business. And, it became a problem. It really
yeah.
did, and I had like an aha moment where I realized like, this isn't going to work. This isn't sustainable. I can't do this forever. And I hired my own assistant.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I mean, I think everybody goes through this, phase when you're at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey is wanting to do all the things all by yourself. But sooner or later, you quickly realize that that is like exactly like you said, not sustainable. You're not going to be able to. And ultimately, you just end up being your own bottleneck, right?
Right. Yes. That's absolutely it.
And that's where like it's a ROI. We talked about the ROI on
Hmm.
outsourcing. It's not like an expense. It's not like just something that you're just money's going out the window and you're not getting anything out of it. I think of it as an investment because the whole idea is to bring more revenue back into your business because it's opened you up and it's given you more
Right.
capacity.
Yes, absolutely. And I hear that over and over again. I've gotten some really great testimonials about just that, where people who are super hesitant to do this, we started with a plan and, whatever it was, we tackled it. And, at the end of the year, they come back and go, I just did my numbers and my business doubled this
Yeah.
year. I didn't really realize it at the time, but it really grew that much. And
Yeah.
they say it's because they had the space to focus on what they needed to focus on instead of all these little pieces or projects that they didn't really need to be the one taking care of.
Yes. Well, that's exactly it. And truly, I mean, that's one of the things that I love about the online business world is that the sky is the limit. And really, the only thing that is going to limit your own growth is you a lot of
Yes.
the time,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can set things up so that you are not, it's not just all down to you. You are not the rate limiting step on everything, and that can open you up to just whole new levels.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Very cool. Okay, so tell me, what are some action steps? Like, what are some things that a listener can do right now? Like, just to put some of these ideas. We've been talking about digital marketing and outsourcing and all of that stuff. What would be the very first steps that you would suggest for somebody?
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, I mean, the very first steps, again, depends on where you're at in your business. I would really assess that and then, to start to make a plan going forward there. But really to start with having a plan. I mean, that is so important to have because if not, you're kind of just, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm going to do this. And there's no consistency there. And it makes it really hard for people to see what's working and what isn't working. You're kind of just doing a lot of different things. And when you really focus in and you're doing a few things and you're doing them on a consistent basis, you can go back. I do this with all of my clients and even for my own business, I go back at the end of every month and look and see what's working, what's not working, where am I getting traffic from, what's bringing me a return. And then I look and, the areas that aren't working, it's time to look at something else. It's always about tweaking that strategy so that you're not just kind of just doing the same thing and hoping, at the end of the year it'll all work out. You're really staying engaged in it and you really kind of have your finger on the pulse of your business and you're making sure that, what's working, great, let's ramp that up, and stuff that's not working, let's stop that.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it sounds like really taking stock, first of all, like take stock
Yes.
of the stage, where you're at, and where are your friction points? Like, where are things being blocked? And then make a plan. I love what you said about, not just sort of randomly, well, let me do this, let me do that. Like, actually make it intentional. Have
Right.
a strategy and a plan for how to move forward and figure out where you need some help. We all
Exactly.
need help, right? Whether you're
Oh,
at the beginning or whether you're more
absolutely.
advanced. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely you do. Don't be like me and work 16-hour days. And then I remember one night, it was a Friday. My husband has Fridays off. And I remember in the morning he had said, do you want to go to dinner and a movie in the evening? And I was like, absolutely, that sounds fun. And he was like, are you sure? Like our son Eben will want to go and we don't want to say that we're going to go if you can't go. And I was like, no, no, that sounds fun. I really want to do it. And throughout the day, he would like pop into the office. He'd bring me a cup of coffee and he would say, are you sure you're going to be able to come? And I was like, I can come. It's going to work out. And then about 7 o'clock, he came in and he gave me the look, like, are you ready? And I knew I wasn't. I knew that I had too much going on and it was a Friday and I really felt like I needed to finish some deadlines up. And it was sad. I watched them from the window leave to go to dinner and a
Oh.
movie without me. And I remember like my heart breaking, like my eyes were watering up and I was really upset, and the next day I got up early and I was like, I can't, this isn't going to happen anymore. And I started doing exactly what I'm telling everyone else to do. I sat down, I looked at my business and I said, where can I get some of my life back? I really want to be able to spend time with my family and I don't want to work 16 hours a day and on the weekend. And I did. I just made a list. I made a list and I said, what things can I hand off? And it was great. The next Friday, I hired someone new, and within a couple of weeks, she was up and running, and I was able to go to movies and dinner again.
Yay.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. And I've never gone back. Now it's very much I work 9 to 5, and that's it. I'm done. 5 o'clock, I'm done. So I never missed a family dinner or an event after that. So I just say, don't do what I did. Don't wait and, cry as your family's driving away to go have fun without you.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. And there's no medal. There's no hero medal that comes if you are like, oh, I've done it all myself, because you're martyring yourself, and there's no need. It's just completely, there's no purpose to it. You don't get a reward at the end of that. And in fact, you miss out on a lot of things. So,
you do. And even if it's something you really enjoy, for the most part, I really loved it. I still, in the long run, I ended up missing out on things that I wish I wouldn't have missed out on, So, even if you love it, I still think there's a breaking point, really. Or you become burnout at some point. Even if you really enjoy it, at some point, your body and mind are going to be like, we need a break.
Yes, totally. Yeah. You need to have boundaries. And certainly I have found that too. Outsourcing really helps me to maintain my boundaries. And that's just so important to maintain that work-life balance, right? Especially, so many of us are, no matter what's happening, we're working from home, and it's just hard to maintain boundaries and try to do all the things. But I love it. Okay. Awesome. Well, we are just about out of time, Jennie, and this has been so great. You've shared so many useful nuggets with us, and I really appreciate it. But before we go, definitely need to know where our listeners can go to learn more about you and connect with you.
Sure, absolutely. So they, of course, can check out the website at jennylyon.com, and it's packed full of a lot of great information. There's free videos and resources, workbooks, checklists, downloads, you name it. You can also check out my podcast, Digital Marketing Made Simple, or on social media. You can find me everywhere at Jennie Lyon Marketing. And Kim, I also created a special workbook for your audience to really help them to be able to sit down with a workbook. And I kind of blocked it out step by step and walks them through the process to see, where could they possibly hand things off in their business. And it really is that first step to growing your business and getting some of your life back. And everybody can grab that over at jennylyon.com/wellness. And of course, if anyone has any questions for me or they want to jump on a call, you can do that at any time at jennylyon.com/chat.
Amazing. Yes. And I will put those links in the show notes too, so that can be easily found. Can you just actually say that link again to the download that you created just for our listeners?
Absolutely. It's jennylyon.com/wellness.
Amazing. Okay. So good. Thank you so much, Jennie. This has been really fun. And I will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. Thanks, Kim.
Well, I hope that you learned a ton by listening to that conversation, and I hope that it helped you think differently about outsourcing and getting help for your business, and how it really can be the key to unlocking that next level of growth for you. I do want to reiterate just how helpful Jennie has been for me personally in growing my business, and truly she knows what she's doing, and everything she touches is done with efficiency and the highest level of attention. Now, as always, I would love to hear your takeaways from this episode. Let me know by finding me on Instagram. I'm at Dr. Kim Foster, and go ahead and tag me in a post or send me a DM. All right, that is all I've got for you today. Again, I would love you forever if you would take a couple of minutes to give this podcast a rating and a review. I so appreciate your feedback. And of course, I really appreciate your help in growing this podcast. Have an amazing week, and I will talk to you again very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Now, if you enjoyed this episode and you're excited to take your coaching business to the next level, then I would love to invite you to attend my free online class called How to Build a Six-Figure Health Coaching Business Using One Signature Program. And that's even if you're a brand new coach. I will be revealing the 3 behind-the-scenes secrets to financial freedom without exhaustion, burnout, or being a slave to social media. In this free class, you'll learn the exact blueprint to having the impact and life you desire, even if you're not sure how to make it happen right now. I'll also tell you about the single biggest mistake new health and wellness coaches make and what to do instead. And I'll be teaching you exactly how to design a signature program step by step, including how to price your offer. And yes, I give you real numbers. To attend this class, all you have to do is sign up at drkimfoster.com/6figures and reserve your seat for free. I will see you there.